I head south as instructed, hearing a rustling in the tree line. I was right. Hey. I stopped dead in my tracks at the sight of him, huffing. Hey yourself! So, you're the friend then? I'm the friend. Whatever that means. Come on, follow me. Keep up. Alkar keeps glancing over his shoulder at me as we move deeper into the forest, following a trail in the dirt so faint I could barely detect it. I almost want to tell him that he needn't be worried about me disappearing in a puff of smoke, but the way to grim silence and what I've just learned killed the comment in my chest. It takes some time for me to realize, but the boulder in the woods Alkar eventually stops at the outline of an opening to it. With a smirk thrown over his shoulder at me, he bends and presses his palm into the dirt. So, this is where you've been hiding all this time. Yeah, this is pretty new. But Omen started hanging around more. Sometimes he wanted to stay with me, wanted to give Ezra space, you know? So, I watched his shoulders rise and fall in a sharp, short shrug. Can't leave him out in the cold, even if he doesn't feel it. Speaking of, he's down here with me. With a final grunt, Alkar slides back what seems a patch of grass and dirt. The entrance disguise impressively convincing. It reveals a narrow stone staircase leading down under the earth. I come to stand next to him, peering into the abyss. Not that it is dark down there. I see the dim glow of a fire, and I can't tell it's warmer down there than up here.
Ezra's a miracle worker, huh? And Finn. You won't believe what a clan of vampires and a witch with a desire to nurture you at any given opportunity can do once they put their minds to it.
With a smirk, he beckons me to go on ahead. I oblige and hear him slide the hatch door close above our heads. Let's see how his... Ooh. Looks really comfy, really cozy, his home. Lots of pillows. Kinda wouldn't have expected that. It's not a very long descent, some 10, 12 steps at most. I find myself standing in a circular, brightly but gently lit space, its stone walls partially hidden by curtains strewn about the place, softening the impression that it's, well, a cave. The strings of light are clearly Ezra's idea. There are cushions and chairs on all sides of the room, though, and I have to wonder if Alkar broke into Piper's home to take some detailed notes from her. I resolve to ask later, as a familiar figure curled up and fuming on one of the couches draw my attention immediately. Ethan! Omen hops to his feet, dusting his hands on his trousers. His movement sends a flutter of empty candy wrappers to the floor, causing him to flush bright red, turn, and try to pick them up. Alkar snorts as he comes to sit down next to Omen, well, next to where Omen just vacated. Waves a careless hand. Worry about them later. Or maybe you can do that burn thing trick, right? Oh, Omen gives me a nervous look. Then his face relaxes and he smiles. The wrappers catch fire with a barely flicker of his power and burn to nothing. It's the first display of power Omen has shown me, and as he sits back down and picks up a cushion to hug. I think he's more relaxed than he's ever been. Alkar gives him a pat on the back and grins, gesturing toward me. See, it's alright. Yes, of course. Omen turns and regards me for a moment. Then he smiles, shy but soft and relieved. I find myself feeling the same, whether or not I can move my facial muscles to mirror his. Glad to see you here. I was getting worried. I can see the surprise on his face before he laughs it away, covering his mouth with the back of one hand.
I appreciate your concern, but given everything, maybe I should be the one worrying. I was, actually, but...
Omen glances to his side, sheepish. Behind him, Alkar's mouthing something. Better with his sister. Oh. I nod along, not sure what exactly to say. Omen hasn't been the one to volunteer much information on himself and his sister beyond the big reveal, and at this point, I'm not sure if it would be more or less awkward to ask. After all, I'm fairly sure that they're not in any sense responsible for things going to shit around here. Not with what I know. Fairly sure.
Figured he should be staying out of sight when he can burst into flames at any moment.
Omen whips around to face him, and I can hear the fluster in his voice. I was not! Alkar shrugs lazily, shooting me a shit-eating grin, as though he's trying to rope me into the teasing. If it counts as teasing, I see the tail of Omen's hair already gaining a cherry red, wisp-like quality. Don't worry, you look cute when you're on fire. Omen groans, burying his face in his hands. I still laugh despite myself and come to sit down next to Alkar on the couch. Omen gives me a sharp look, like I've done him a small betrayal, but joins Alkar on the other side. He picks up a cushion and holds it close to his chest. We sit in silence for a long minute, and it's the most peace I've had for a very long time, especially since coming to Lunaris. These two don't know much of anything, I realize. Well, perhaps not much more than me, even though Alkar has clearly been sniffing around, and Omen possibly, definitely, carries his own bag of secrets. But at this moment, in relation to all of this, perhaps we're the same. There's some comfort in that, to not be the only one in the dark. Pass me the jar. I can see Omen startle out of the corner of my eye. When I glance his way, it's to catch the flash of guilt on his face, and then he bends over to retrieve something. He surfaces back up with a mostly empty glass jar of wrapped candies. I can completely get obsessional with sweet things.
Omen! Ezra's gonna fucking kill me, buddy!
I'm sorry. You said help yourself.
Alkar reaches for the jar, but Omen holds it away from him. Show me your tongue, Omen. Omen's eyes widen, and Alkar leans back away from us with a not-so-subtle snicker. I glare at him, which he shrugs off with a roll of his eyes, and we each look at Omen expectantly. The son of Satan takes a sharp breath, then sticks his tongue out at me, just enough to mock. I think you should take your allergy seriously. Oh, is he allergic to sweets or sugar? What a horrible fate.
Well, I think demons ought to be allowed to take their indulgences seriously.
Alkar laughed then, open and full of mirth, and not like any sound I've ever heard from him before. He ruffles Omen's hair, then gives his long ear a slight tweak. That's how you show him attitude, yeah? See, you're learning. From the best, I gather. Omen blinks, then laughs too, an awkward chuckle that he still tries to stifle behind a hand. Alkar's wolf ears relax, and you see his face soften into something very bright and very fond. Oh, I just wanted to say what my character is going to say. You two are outrageously cute. It's almost comical how quickly they separate. Omen almost hops off the edge of the couch with the speed of his retreat. His face and hair turn bright red. While he sputters something incoherent, Alkar leans away from me like I've just insulted his entire family. Interesting. Never say that again. I can't help but grin at how empathically he says it. Can't handle a bit of truth, can you?
No. We're friends. Friendship.
Uh-huh. He nods vigorously, mostly to himself, I think, and clutches the cushion closer to his chest, his eyes looking everywhere but at me. Alkar's head whips around at the speed of light, his wolf ears flattening into his soft hair. Whatever expression is on his face that I can't see makes Omen pause. He stares back, jaw slack. La Xena. Then he covers his face with the pillow to muffle the rest of whatever that was. Alkar turns back to him, expression grim. Now look what you've done. He's fucking steaming. Omen smacks Alkar's knee hard, at which point I decide, and the two of them ought to be grateful for my graciousness, that perhaps it's safe and time to leave. Chuckling, I rise from the couch and take a step away, putting some good, much-needed distance between the pair and the mess they're quickly falling apart in. Alright, you two win. Alkar gives me a narrow-eyed look. Interestingly enough, I see his fluffy tail curl around Omen, almost protectively, and Omen's own tail wraps around the fur, twisting in. Coincidence? I don't think so. But saying so might get a half-lichen at my throat. At least, I gather as such from the way Alkar's shoulders are tense, so I keep my mouth shut. Likely, he would do me no harm, but even so. Besides, staying right here affords me the best view of this mess. I cross my arms, fighting the amusement down. Of all the revelations in this town, this is the most welcome one yet. I'd better head out then.
Shame, but stay safe and all that. Not that you need that Chad, big and strong as you are.
Good night. Alkar glowers at me, but I distinctly hear no further protest from him. No. I head straight for the shop when I leave the forest without incident, remembering my promise to Ezra and August that I'd let them know I was safe. I push the door open and spot Ezra and Finn in a somewhat heated debate. They both straighten up when they see me, Finn apparently too distracted to anticipate my arrival. His eyes are wide for a moment before he settles back into that implacable stillness.
Oh, you're back. We were getting worried.
He steps toward me, leaving Finn where he's apparently stuck in place. Finn said you found Fiero? I'm so relieved. Yes, Fiero is alive. We should get him out of there as soon as we can. They aren't exactly treating him with kindness. I look at Finn, anticipating an outburst. It'd be justified. They've been taking his blood and starving him. What for? What could they possibly need with his blood? I see a hint of black flicker in the whites of his eyes. The first time his poised facade has wavered around me, a glimpse of the creature that lingers within him. I go to him, laying my hand upon his. It works, calming whatever threatens to surface. Sorry. Ezra looks away, giving us a moment of privacy. He turns his hand in mine, our fingers brushing before he withdraws his touch. It's okay. We'll get him back. Ezra returns his attention to us, a concerned friend. All Finn can do is avert his gaze, almost defiantly. It doesn't go unnoticed by me. There's a clear and unusual tension between them tonight, something I can't quite place. I seem to be collecting secrets quite efficiently lately, so it can't hurt to try and pry another, and maybe help diffuse whatever this is. Are you two okay? Finn almost looks straight through me. Ezra's eyes widen, but he recovers quickly, his smile strangely earnest. What do you mean? I don't mean to interfere, but you both seem so tense. Is something wrong?
We just had a little disagreement. It happens, especially with all of this going on.
Oh, he sounds so distressed. Ezra's gaze snaps to Finn, eye contact fixing and holding before Finn exhales sharply, apparently willing to be a little more open than the witch.
With everything that has happened, I made the decision that I would be more mindful and keep my distance from Ezra. Him being seen with me made the enforcers make his life a living hell, which he will vigorously deny.
Okay, I can completely understand to be very upset about that. Ezra opens his mouth to protest, but Finn pointedly continues. He softens then, a fond look in his eyes as his gaze flicks between us. You cannot live your life with them breathing down your neck. I know what they do to people who they feel threatened by, or who they like to use as a scapegoat. Look at Fiero. You hold knowledge from working with them. They're afraid of you.
I refuse to stand by and let those I care about get hurt. I've had enough, and if staying away helps them get off your back, helps protect you, then so be it.
The illusion of choice, right here. I see a flaw in his logic, however thoughtful his explanation might seem. Don't you think you're stronger together? That we are all stronger together? I know he means well, but from being in Lunaris and being around this weird and wonderful little family I've joined, I've come to see that strength really is better in numbers. Using logic, I roll my eyes, hoping he sees my point. I understand where you're coming from with this, but in such a situation, don't you think it's better to take some risks? Being away from those you care about truly only does more harm than good. Your presence gives them strength, and you face the consequences together. Finn, You've been expecting to be everywhere and nowhere at once, and we are all taking risks here. Exactly. Please tell me you at least see how much better we are with you around, as part of this unit. He looks to the side, a brighter smile forming before he returns his gaze to us. I've lived a long time. I may just be a little overly cautious. But yes, I see. Yeah, at this point you could decide if you want to enter a relationship with both. This game allows polyamorous relationships. But yeah, I will, for this playthrough, decide to just be together with Finn. You seem to care about one another a great deal. I hope I've helped even a little. Ezra bites his lips, filling with his sleeve.
Well, I'm used to having so much company, being surrounded by those that I love. So going from that to whatever this is has been hard.
I do care about both of you. He looks at me, his fingers twitching at his side.
I can't bear the thought of you paying dire consequences for being seen with me. But the thought of stepping back and letting it happen sickens me more. My fondness for you grows immeasurably.
Oh, thank you for helping me see. Ezra looks at me, something flickering behind his pretty green eyes. Curiosity, maybe. You've become close, haven't you? Finn smiles at me, nodding. Yeah. Ezra smiles at him, and the vampire huffs a quiet laugh. Then something wicked flickers across his features, the mood shifting, becoming a little playful. I'm so glad. It's about time he found someone to put him back in his place. Yeah. Yes, I'm an idiot, I know. You didn't need to read my mind for that one, did you? And just like that, everything seems a little lighter. Finn smiles at me, bright and beautiful, as he wraps his arm around my shoulder, pulling me flush against his side and pressing a kiss to my temple.
Don't let him convince you it's easy to put me in my place now, will you?
I slap my palm upon his chest, enjoying the shock little oof it draws from him. If you say so. Annoyingly and embarrassingly, I feel a yawn brewing, unable to stifle it. My fatigue suddenly catches up to me, and I find two pairs of wide eyes staring at me. Tired, are you? Just a little? Come, I'll walk you home. I lean my weight against his side a little more, and he squeezes my arm. Sounds good to me. Ezra groans, his brow furrowed as he looks at us. What is it? You're very cute together. It's a little distracting. In the best possible way, of course. Ezra, please. Sorry. It's true though, you look good together. Now, get out of my shop so I can collapse into bed. Good night. Good night, Ezra. Thank you for everything today. The honor was mine. Ready. I look at him, feeling warm. Ready. The wolf comes to a startling halt as Finn and I enter. Finn grumbles beside me, his arm slung around my shoulder as he ushers me toward the bar. I suspect he has a hankering for his preferred poison, by the way his golden eyes light up at the sight of the whiskey bottles lined up along the back of the bar. Fancying a drink, are you? Why, are you offering? The second I see his grin, I realize how that might have come across. He laughs when he sees the recognition flash across my face. I stutter to respond.
You can't go saying things like that to a man like me. Let's just go upstairs.
Just vampire things.
You need rest. You deserve rest.
Yes, please. I take the hand that he offers, ignoring the pointed stare that Edna and every other patron throws us as he guides me toward the staircase. Finn closes the door behind him, smiling at me as I lean against the wall. I watch as he politely takes in his surroundings, his eyes flicking around the sparsely decorated room. This is cute. I have an incredulous laugh, knowing he's joking, but not quite having the energy to react. Oh yeah, very lavish. He hums, tilting his head this way and that. Then he wanders over to my bed, running his fingers over the sheets and giving the mattress an inquisitive push. Then he sits on it, bouncing up and down, clearly unimpressed with the distinct lack of working bed springs. It shrieks loudly, very loudly, and he snores rather uncouthly.
Oh no. This won't do at all. There are no secrets to be kept in here, are there?
Haha, and what were your plans? I groan, pushing away from the wall and dragging myself to join him. The second I hit the mattress, he pulls me backward, and we land with a quiet thud, staring up at the ceiling. I curl up against him, feeling his cool skin through his many layers of clothing, and somehow it comforts me. Thank you for bringing me home.
The pleasure is mine. It was a selfish act of chivalry, anyway.
I pull myself upright, and Finn follows. I turn to face him, registering his earnest smile. Selfish? He turns his palm upward, wiggling his fingers. I take the hint, eagerly lacing my fingers with his. He squeezes me tightly. Yes, because it means I just got this little bit of extra time with you, doesn't it? Oh. I'm glad that you're so chivalrous then. I'll be sure to keep it up. His smile fades, replaced by another kind of expression entirely. Something that sends a chill rolling down my spine. Every single one of my nerve endings on fire. I see my opening, and I take it, feeling emboldened by that gaze. I should rest, but... one for the road? One of those dark brows raises, and his smile is truly a thing of sin, something that sends my heart swiftly to its knees.
As if you ever need to ask. I've thought of nothing else.
He shifts closer, if such thing is possible with our bodies already seamed so tightly. He cups my jaw with an iron palm, the edgings flickering brightly upon contact. It feels good to see, to know that I can coax such a visceral response from him. His dark lashes flutter closed, and he pressed his cool lips to my warm. Tongue finds tongue, and he tastes like peppermint, like coming up for fresh air. I smile when his thumb brushes over my flushed cheeks, and Finn pulls away with a wicked grin far too soon. I could get used to this. I bite my bottom lip, unconsciously chasing his touch as he drops his hand from my face. I think I've already gotten used to it. Good. He reluctantly stands, and I mourn the closeness immediately. Though he still holds my hand, bringing it to his lips and pressing a kiss to my knuckles, his eyes not leaving mine. Good night, fair hunter. If I could dream, they'd surely be consumed by thoughts of you.